Matchday 3 kicked off Friday the 14th with former champions Ngezi handing New Boys Scotland their first defeat in the Premier League, a 1-0 loss coming via an 80th minute penalty put away by Kudzai Chikwida. It was a great shift by Ngezi, who showed great discipline to the game plan, never intimidated by their big-name opponents.
I think we did very well today, and we need to thank God for that, and even the players for a lot of enthusiasm, and also the zeal to make sure that we really want to win the game. The organization was very perfect today. I just hope also this win is going to give us a lot of confidence going forward, because what is important is too early of the season, but what is important is to make sure we have the consistency in performance, consistency in winning, consistency also in making sure our tactical approach is super evident that we are playing.
Quite an entertaining game to open the weekend action at Rufaro Stadium, and now that they have tasted defeat, it may be an early wake-up call for the Scotland Stars to perform on the pitch rather than expect reputation to intimidate opponents into submission, as appears to have been the case in their opening game against Triangle. Coach Thandazani Zimbwa said his side were clearly the team to beat.
The good thing is people are coming. People are coming to watch the games, and partly because of the players that we have in our team. When you have such a good team, then every team wants to beat you, and all the people who come in to want to watch the match. I mean, it's not a secret that we have 6 players in the national team. That shows that the quality that is in our team. So we have to be very mentally strong.
Moving on to Saturday, there is no less than 6 matches lined up across different stadia spread across the country. At Luveve Stadium, Chicken Inn welcomes Shavane Miners FC Platinum, hoping to find the nets for the first time this season following 2 scoreless draws against Bikita and Yada. Brian Musa has been doing all the running up front. Michael Charamba has come close on numerous occasions, whilst the new signing at Tinashe Mshairene has been promising, yet it has been just that, close shaves. All the same, the Chicken Inn Platinum game is one not to miss for football lovers, and Chicken Inn Secretary General Hara said the matches between his side and FC Platinum were always a joy to watch.
Okay, we're hoping to have a good crowd against the former champions, FC Platinum. We call them twins. Those were promoted the same year together. Of course, we're the first to take championship before them. But always when you're playing FC Platinum, we'll be having a perfect game, a perfect crowd, perfect refereeing. Everything will be super against FC Platinum.
Hara's Chicken Inn need to be wary of their opponents, who seem to be striking it right, more so after last weekend's hard-fought 1-0 win over Manica Diamonds. Platinum coach Norman Mapeza, probably with the best passing team in the land, expressed respect for his opponents, at the same time promising them a good run for their money.
Guys are pushing. You can tell everybody is ready for the game. We've been talking about the chicken game since Tuesday when we started training. Very important game for us.
At the Bata Stadium in Gweru, Sol Chaminuka's Kwekwe host Bikita Minerals with all to play for following the 2 sides in different starts to the season. Separated by just a point, it's Bikita with better statistics as they have drawn their 2 opening fixtures, whilst Kwekwe, after a promising start where they held former champions Ngezi to a 1-1 draw, they could not stand the Barberfields test, capitulating to a 4-0 loss that they need to quickly pick themselves up from, ideally in the upcoming game against Bikita. Their coach Sol Chaminuka identified critical areas that needed attention ahead of their next game.
We have to work, of course, on discipline, marking discipline. We gave away 2 penalties today, and maybe it could have even been worse.
Bikita head coach Wilson Mutegede said he was wary of a Kwekwe backlash despite preparations that had gone well.
Playing against Kwekwe that lost the game against Highlanders is always going to be quite a challenge, because they also want to really avenge that defeat on us. They want to really try and get something from us.
Mtegede said he was impressed with his side's strong finish in their last match against Moors, which was a good foundation on which to build going forward.
Pushed up so much and created good opportunity in the last 15 minutes of the game, which for me, when I look at performance in terms of evaluation, we are happy with that kind of an ending.
At the Baobab, Moors welcomed the men of the cloth Yada in a match set to define even more their season following a lukewarm start to life in the Premier League. The newcomers began with a 1-0 win over Boso thanks to a Rafael PTC howler before snatching a point away to Bikita off a Billy Veremo penalty. They take on a Yada side that fought gallantly last Friday to come out with a point against Chicken Inn despite having only a single player on the bench. The Miracle Boys were hit with a transfer ban by FIFA, and to make matters worse, they lost some of their key players in the off-season, most notable star Kama Piliat, youngster Blessed Ndereki and Clive Mandivei. Their Ugandan import, goalkeeper Matthias Kigonya, has also found a home in the lower divisions. All the same, the Miracle Boys still have some of the best talent in the league, and players like Vincent Sango, Jerich Pangura, Mandla Mlilo and Evans Rusike will always conjure something special. Yada have also given Terence Maguranyanga a chance, and he has shown good talent on either wingback. Tanaka Chikumba has also filled Ndereki's gap with so much promise as a box-to-box midfielder. At Rufaro Stadium, Dynamo's host, the Wi-Fi Boys, are still searching for their first win of the season. For that to come true, they must score against a Tel1 side managed by their former coach Herbert Maroa. Tel1 also boasts one of the best keepers on the domestic scene, Chris Mverechena. Up front, Jombano doesn't seem to have the same problems as Timbare. Actually, he enjoys the best strike force so far after hitting the nets 5 times in 2 games. It's a big test for Timbare, who have drawn their opening 2 games with scoreless stalemates. At the Green Fuel Arena in Chisumbanje, expect a cracker of a game when Highlanders visit Green Fuel. The Highlanders family, jubilant following a lifting of their banner to sign any new players, will have to wait a little bit longer though before they see their new talent, as registration could not be effected on time to field the new signings against Green Fuel.
We are still with a limited squad in terms of selection, despite FIFA lifting our ban. I think we are not yet ready to register our players, and we are only hoping that hopefully by next week I think they should be available for selection.
On the other hand, the Green Fuel captain Honest Moyo, a former Highlanders left back, reported a good week of training ahead of the big clash where Highlanders will be hoping to break the host record of no losses at home. Moyo called on his side's fans to come in their numbers and rally behind the team.
We are ready for the match against the Highlanders, and we want to take the maximum points and maintain our unbeaten home record. And so we want them to come in their numbers.
Green Fuel coach Taurai Mangwiro said they were ready for the Bozo test, and despite their 1-0 loss away to Ngezi in their last match, Mangwiro said he was encouraged by the way his team finished the match.
We are not fazed by that. We want to take the game to them as much as possible, ensure that we fight for all 3 points, and very encouraging is the manner in which we finished against the Platinum Stars.
At Thandazani Stadium in Shamba, champion Zimbabwe entertained students Herentals in what should be a game and a half between 2 sides that always entertain whenever they clash. The champions look to utilizing home support to full advantage, and whilst they lost several key players, they still have some potential match winners in players like Isheunes Mauchi, recently called up to the national team. Junior Makunike, whose best is still to come, whilst the new signings Tino Meki, Emmanuel Ziocha and Blessed Ndereki are also expected to shine for Go Bujugo. On the other hand, Herentals are taking the match seriously and believe they will be up to the task. Their captain Blessing Majarira predicted a fruitful trip to Shamba.
Going there to Simba, history could have a tendency to repeat itself, as I say. Simba so we're going there fighting for 3 points. But we need to fight to get even 1 goal so that we get out with 3 points. So we need just to go and fight.
We move on to Sunday, where in Mutare at Sakuva Stadium, Manika Diamonds host ZPC Kariba. Manika were met to test their own medicine last weekend when they fell to a last-ditch goal away to FC Platinum, the same way they had beaten Yada in the opening fixture. This time, the Diamond Miners take on a ZPC side with a lock system at the back that has troubled many a Premier League side to break. Kariba had the best defense last season, and 2 games into this year's program, they are still to concede. Perhaps what they should worry about is that they are still to score.
The normal training that we usually do, and ZPC Kariba not excluded. We are preparing well, and we are very hopeful that the way we are doing our things, we end up winners.
The weekend's final fixture on Sunday pits Triangle against Capes United, a tale of 2 teams that have already tasted defeat and still winless after 2 games. Capes beat the Dust last weekend against Scotland, whilst Triangle were thrashed 4-1 by Tel1. Triangle know if they are to redeem themselves, there is no better time to do so than in the game against Capes, whilst the Green Machine would want to atone for last weekend's loss with an away win. Capes may have conceded twice, but they looked safe between the goalposts, with new arrival Harmony Nare pulling off some stunning saves in the game. Triangle began the season with promise following a narrow 1-0 loss to Scotland, only to capitulate against Tail 1 in a 4-1 defeat where they missed a penalty. The sooner they mend what ought to be fixed, the better, and at the moment it looks like many weaknesses with defense leaking and strike force blunt. Luke Masomere has some work on his hands. So 9 games on the cards this weekend before the league makes way for the international break that is set to resume on the first weekend of April. With a 2-week layoff to come, who can afford to miss the weekend matches in a season that has begun with so much promise?